Alright, let's see what you can do, Chainsaw Man. What's up guys, so you're here to do a breakdown / live reaction review to chapter 186 of Chainsaw Man, which is known as Yank Blanche Bradum. You can always tell it's going to be a POCHITA focused chapter whenever the title is absolutely nonsense. But then again, Yank likely refers to Denji revving his heart, and then of course revving Chainsaw Man naturally, Chainsaw Man feeding, and then getting back to full power. Blanche is maybe him digesting like all the juice he just drank from Denji eating one of the triple, and Bradum is the hum of the chainsaws now that they're activated again. So actually, now that I think about it, this chapter title does make sense if I interpret it in that specific way. And it looks like we're going to get a run back between Chainsaw Man and Aging. I'm interested to see how this goes though. Once again, Aging seemed relatively dominant over both of our extremely powerful Ds so far. So maybe Chainsaw Man's locked in, maybe got a fear and maybe something. But let's not waste any more time and let's hop right into it. Editing me, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up guys, that guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do mean to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, Chainsaw Man is very interesting. Once again, I don't like, the thing is, a lot of you guys were explaining to me, technically, for all intents and purposes, in order to make sure they don't break the universe, all Chainsaw Man really needs to do is just slay Aging, you know, not actually slaughter or devour Aging. And y'all are right, but like, at least from what it seems like, Aging is extremely powerful. Like, maybe not up there, definitely not up there to the tiers of like Darkness or, I'd say, I mean, then again, this is still a relatively weak Yoru compared to a complete Yoru. But I'd say maybe not a level of the Horseman, because Makima seemed even more powerful. But even then, it really depends. Like, Aging just seems to be so potent and dangerous and diabolical that, like, I'm not sure if we've ever seen even Chainsaw Man slay a D of this high authority, if you know what I'm talking about. So, like, is it possible? Absolutely. But I feel like, in a similar way to Falling and possibly Darkness, I feel like Aging can't really like fall in a traditional way. Like we know the perpetual motion machine was a reference, or the perpetual motion machine reference that Denji made like 2 or 3 chapters ago when he started his running plan in order to get hungry, in order to eat, in order to reignite Chainsaw Man. Very specifically is reference to the Eternity D, which ended up being slain, quote unquote, by just giving up. I was like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. So maybe that's what Chainsaw Man's hoping to do, or Denji through Chainsaw Man, through POCHITA, is hoping to do to Aging, where it just keeps slicing Aging to oblivion. Because ultimately, right now, unless Aging actively goes to erase Chainsaw Man from existence, right? Like, it ages him out and then just banishes him to another realm or something like that. For all intents and purposes, realistically, Denji can do this all day. Like, he can just keep running, get hungry again, eat another triple, and then Chainsaw Man will get back up. And then fall again, and get back up, and fall again, and get back up, and fall again. So technically, this is truly another perpetual motion machine, especially considering every single tree in Aging's realm is a person, is a triple. So even if it takes like 10 years, then he can just keep going and going and going, just considering he himself will not age within Aging's realm. So I don't know, I'm intrigued to see how this goes. Let's see. I will always give this. While I do have my occasional critiques of Fujimoto's art, there is one thing he portrays fantastically every single time, and it's the raw speed of some of these characters, man. Like, the fact that Chainsaw Man just vanishes, and you can even loosely tell what angle he like leaps from based on the trail. Beautiful. It's a simple way to do it, but it's always done so well, and especially it's always helped by the background work. I've noticed whenever Fujimoto does do something like this, the background work is always immaculate. It's extremely impressive. I know these are literally just the same background, but even then, just the detail it would take to go in and draw this destroyed environment even once, even if it is immediately replicated, absurd. I don't know about y'all, but I hate doing backgrounds. I hate them. I hate them with every fiber of my being. Like, legit. I don't know. I get so bored of like drawing buildings. I hate doing it, but Fujimoto, fantastic background work, fantastic display speed. Let's see. Boom! Oh, or Foom, as the SFX says. Okay. Thing is, does he even know where to go? Like does he can probably smell Aging, I have to hazard a guess. Okay. More background. Oh, okay, so he's leaping. What's the... I guess maybe he like charged through that building here, but I'm assuming all these points, these whams, these crunches, that bounce, he's probably like... He's hulking it. He's like leaping, lands, leaps, lands, leaps, lands. Thing is though, that's like in the middle of a building. So like, did he fall in through this end and then leaped out again? But boom, 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 or wham, crunch, smash. All right. Yeah, he is schmoving. All right, but ironically enough, This is one of the longest travel sequences we ever had for him. Because usually, Pochita, I'd say he's kind of portrayed, outside of obviously the actual deities, like your darknesses, your presumably death, your... I mean, he did pretty good numbers against Falling, but I don't think Falling was taking him seriously, and that was a regular Chainsaw Man. But ultimately, Pochita, he's kind of been portrayed to be like the fastest character in the verse. Like, the only times he's ever been, like, even tagged is when he was off guard. Like, he wasn't expecting Yoru to mid-swing come out of nowhere with both her kids and then immediately get a shot off. Like that wasn't not in his repertoire. He was caught off guard, boom. And then, of course, the other thing that came from halfway around the planet, he wasn't expecting to get hit by that. Other than that, he's shown to be, like, insanely fast. So the fact that it's actually taking him even this long goes to show how far away aging is. Let's see. He'll arrive in less than a minute. As things stand, even if he slays me, he probably won't eat me. Oh, okay, so this is... Alright. So everyone was right. That is on the table. So aging does believe ultimately they can be slain. So I guess I would just send them back to the underworld, so I wouldn't delete it. Yes, alright. I don't know why. Maybe I was holding aging in too high of a regard. I probably just have my scaling off. Let's see. Public safety agents. This is a contract. Give me a piece of your bodies, and I'll save you from death at Chainsaw Man's hands. Interesting to think. I guess, like, if like, I wonder if that's how that works. Because once again, I've kind of been talking about how I think Chainsaw Man devouring aging is like a really bad idea for all the ways it would break the universe. But I guess technically, if you do not age, even if you had your head removed, as long as your blood stops pumping, and as long as you're, like, frozen in stasis. Once again, the debate on whether or not aging actually is also time in this universe, or time is also a separate D that has completely different context. Would it be like like, once again, going with the whole Yoru analogy, even though she isn't legitimately, or who knows, maybe she did birth from, but even though she isn't legitimately the mother of Tank and Splagooter, she technically is the mother of Tank and Splagooter. Maybe aging is a child of time? Or I've kind of like mentally, I was talking on a live stream about this with some other people, and I actually theorized that, like, maybe aging is like a child of death, and ultimately the Nostradamus prophecy will actually occur once aging is slain, and then death will be like, hey, why'd you come beat up my kid? So, like, I don't know. But I could see a way that they could technically become immortal, maybe not operable, but immortal, if aging is like, I will cease the process of aging on your bodies. Because technically, you are, for a few seconds, alive after you lose your head. Your heart can stop pumping, and you can still technically be alive. So, it wouldn't be too crazy for them to become pseudo-immortals. But how effective they'll be against Chainsaw Man is entirely unknown, and likely not that much. Let's see. Yes, sir! We keep focusing on this character. I wonder if there's any greater importance. I'm assuming it's just because she's our public safety analog, right? Like, after... What's his name? Not Katana Man. Oh, what's his name? Oh, I forget his name. The guy who served Nayuta on a silver platter, quite literally. Him. After he got slain, she kind of needs to become our analog, because, like, no one else is left. No one else is left at all. Let's see. Yes, sir! Nails. Ooh. Ew. Nasty. But I guess it's not the most horror thing. I mean, it's a little bit nasty. Like, I don't know about y'all. I hate yanking out a hangnail, so losing your entire nail covering would be pretty nasty. But not the worst thing that they could have taken. It also is a universal factor that every human would have. I get, like, if they said certain specific organs, maybe somebody wouldn't have that. But everyone has nails. So, interesting. All that for a little bit of immortality seems legit. Let's see. He is schmoving. Alright. Huh? Pochita! No! What did they do to you, my boy? They took his head off? They took his guts out? Gee, he got three-pieced. No, Bev, what happened, Pochita? Golly. Denji, get some munching, my boy. Golly, what happened? No! Oh. So it was like, it's not like they popped off, it's like they were literally ripped off. Okay, good. I was about to say. And I wonder if will they lose their toenails too? Or is it just their, like, hand nails? Let's see. An ugly method. But I have no choice. I'll wrench his mouth open and force feed myself to him. A little freaky, but Unironically, I could see certain people being into that. But that, I mean, I guess, right? That's like the unfortunate thing. It really, like, the question is, can they force Pochita to swallow? Or is Pochita a spitter quitter? But let me stop. But ultimately, can that happen? Can aging, like, say Pochita comes in, because we know, really, all that needs to be consumed by Pochita isn't actually the entire body. And seemingly enough, as long as the head is consumed, then the concept will vanish. It'll be stored within Pochita, but it'll vanish. Once again, the digestion rate of Pochita is completely unknown. But, with that being the case, hypothetically, say Pochita does reach him, slices them to ribbons. What if aging is just like, whee! And then if Pochita's mouth happens to be open, ow! Like, will they be able to make Pochita go? Or will Pochita just instantly... And, let's see. Because typically Pochita does run with his mouth open. But then again, aging has a pretty big head. Especially considering it's like a three-piece head. So I'm not sure if, like... Is Pochita's mouth even big enough to handle that? And how did it do that? Like, aging. I thought that was, like, one of their D abilities. But no, how did you do that? Like, split three-piecing him like this. But I don't know, let's see. Interesting. Once again, they all seem, like, these two seem genuinely disgusted, but she seems low-key into it. Let's see. Oh, okay, never mind. Alright, never mind. They're all into it. I mean, I don't know. Once again, maybe I'm the crazy person. Because, like, I remember mentioning, like, on another platform, there was, like, a question proposed, like, would you rather be a Kryptonian, a Saiyan, or a Viltrumite? And, like, honestly, the easiest answer is Kryptonian, because they're the strongest species of the three listed. Yes, I know my fellow anime fan, you may not like that, but ultimately, the I'm still gonna do that video. I have that script written, I just need to sit down, record it, and edit it. But, like, the Kryptonians are an infinitely better species than the Saiyans, don't argue with me. But, well, you can argue with me. But, I think they still end up choosing Saiyan, because, like, I just need that. Ultimately, being basically immortal doesn't sound fun. Especially in a universe like ours, because that's the thing. You would become a Kryptonian, Saiyan, or Viltrumite in our world. That was the question proposed. Not if it was in their world. In their world, then fine. They'll just be immortal. There's actual, like, broad universes and other immortal beings that I could, like, meet and bond with in those universes. Though, in some interpretations of, like, Superman stories, he really is the last living thing. But that's, like, Superman specifically, not your average Kryptonian, which is presumably what I become. But, with that being the case, I don't really rock with the idea of, like, pure, absolute, endless immortality. But then again, maybe if it's for everyone, it's different. Because, like, then I wouldn't be alone. But then we'd all just be together at the death of the universe. Will that make me feel better? As long as I wasn't alone? I don't know. Because, like, and that's a big thing, like, in a story I was writing, I'm not sure if I'm going to finish. That one is like, that's a little too close to an actual concept. I could smell the lawsuits. But, like, one of the things that one of the characters does in that narrative using their abilities is they just make everyone immortal. Like on the spot. They have the ability to control reality on a multiversal scale, and they treat everything is immortal. Like, cannot die. And he studies the repercussions of that and finds that, maybe this doesn't work all too well. And that's the kind of conclusion I've reached to, where ultimately, like, even group mass immortality or everything being immortal, it sounds good. But, like, space and time, planets, like, he ended up sticking with his choice. He didn't go back on it, but he had to do a whole lot of work on top of that. And I guess maybe public safety is working for that front, where ultimately they're saying, don't worry about us, use us, please. Ultimately they're saying that because they're thinking, hey, at the end of all this, as long as they're still alive, I'm immortal. But, like, I don't know. Let's see. Even aging's like, ew, you humans are freaky. Let's see. The Chainsaw Man wannabes and the War D are wrecking Tokyo. Oh, really? Well, I guess, yeah. At this rate, that crazy prophecy would come true. An age of D's might really arrive. Do you think you're not... Like, y'all did this. Well, okay. But that's interesting. Because I thought, what's his name, who was, like, the head of the Chainsaw Man Church, I thought he was also, like, working with public safety. I thought that was, like, the whole thing. Like, y'all brought this upon yourselves. Well, then again, I suppose, how's that whole saying go? Those who run from he who runs from his destiny is often on the path to meeting it, or like it's something along those lines, where ultimately the harder and harder you work against your fate, the further and further you're going to run towards it, which is, like, sad in some cases, but, like, it'd be like that when it'd be like that sometimes. What is it? I think Oedipus? Isn't that, like, the whole story? Like, no, it's not Oedipus himself. It was his father. Right? Like, ultimately, if he hadn't gotten rid of his son, then his son would have never come back and slain him. Like, I forget how that story goes. I need to study up on my old Greek stuff. My old Roman stuff. I need to just sit down and do a whole bunch of rereading, because a lot of my analogies and stuff are based on old literature that I read forever ago, and thusly it's fading from my memory. Let's see. If we can evolve mankind with Chainsaw Man's power, the age of humans will continue. Will it though? Will it though? Like, ultimately, I get it. Once again, they're kind of, ironically enough, Makima would be cheesing in her astral form, whatever she is now. She would be cheesing because ultimately that's what she wanted to do, kind of. She wanted to make the world a perfect place by removing all the bad things. But like, humans are ultimately defined by a lot of their bad things. And the repercussions that erasing concept has doesn't just affect humans. Ultimately, it's kind of like the whole, we humans do what we want for our own sake, not necessarily thinking about the grand scheme of the world. We assume that as long as we do it for us and it's good for us, then it doesn't matter about the rest of creation. But ultimately, we are a part of the rest of creation, and thusly doing things to harm our planet, the only one we have and the only one we could reach and stick to in our current reasonable lifespans, and based on our current technology, I think the nearest Earth-like planet that we could live on, which isn't even like fully Earth-like, it just has the sustainable properties and distance for us to live on. There are a bunch of them. They are in other solar systems. For reference, it would take us literal, like, how far away is the nearest Earth-like planet? $268,770 AU. Oh, that's not even the nearest. That's the nearest star. How many light years is 1 AU? How is AU light years? How many light years away is the nearest star? Why do you mean what I like to convert from? I don't know. But ultimately, it's basically impossible. And I think what this is doing, what Fujimoto's doing through public safety, is taking our own things of like, yeah, we don't care about the planet, we'll be fine. Or we don't care about what we're doing to the planet, we'll be fine. We don't care about the ancient species, we'll be fine. We don't care about the ecosystem, we'll be fine. Because we're humans, we're fine. Everything's for us, right? I think Fujimoto's evolving that to the next level with public safety. Being like, hey, it's this by humans, for humans, of humans, no matter what happens to the rest of the planet mentality that will ultimately do us in the end. And I think by the public safety trying so hard to manipulate reality to avoid the Nostradamus prophecy, they are going to cause it. They will wake up death. And then ultimately, that may be the thing that gets death the most annoyed, right? Like, say hypothetically, the reason death hasn't spawned in yet is because, like, there are enough things causing it. I'm well fed enough. Ultimately, my concept still exists and is well fed through my children or the things that cause me. I'm good. But if they erase enough things, death themselves may show up and be like, hey, y'all have gotten a little too comfortable. Now, bend over and spread it. Like, that's ultimately how I think the prophecy is going to pop off. Let's see. We're prepared to be sacrificed. By all means, use us to be eaten by Chainsaw Man. Oh, yeah, but look, perpetual motion machine, just like I mentioned. Denji got torn up, or Chainsaw Man got torn apart, Denji turns into another triple, or maybe even the same triple eats them, Denji restarts Chainsaw Man. Smart, so smart. Alright. But, okay. So they're prepared to be sacrificed. So they are doing it. It reminds me of another character from my favorite piece of fiction ever. By humans, for humans, of humans. They're willing to sacrifice themselves, sacrifice other humans, in order to make sure that humanity itself prospers. We'll see. I love how aging's like, that's what you think. Like, once again, we still don't fully understand aging machinations. They are an almost ancient, unintelligible being relative to our human cast. Like, 100%. Let's see. Tear out, eat, Chainsaw Man resurrects. That's the thing. There's not a single... I will complain occasionally about Fujimoto's art. He never, ever fumbles with POCHITA, though. Like, this is always gorgeous, man. Like, and it's so hard to draw. Like, I'm still making avatars. I'm like drawing them and prepping them for next year. And obviously, Chainsaw Man is one of the series I cover, and I want to do like actual separate discussion videos on it. So I need an intro for it. And golly gee willikers, fellas, is it whooping my mind? I'm just trying to draw POCHITA remotely accurately, as he is the massive basis for my avatar. I'm like, geez, man, how do you do this? Well, yep, then he's eating. Ugh, nasty. But he's doing it. He's cooking. Let's see. I wonder if Aging's even realizing. I think Aging's like, I may have fumbled the bag, because ultimately the best thing for Aging to do now, kick out Denji. Like, once again, obviously I get why they're so intent on keeping Denji there, but if they remove Denji from that place, then one, he may be fused right back into POCHITA, which will slow him down drastically. And two, Denji won't have infinite energy, or quote-unquote infinite energy. It really depends how much of these treeple can be consumed, and how many treeple can be consumed. And considering, I think in the grand calculus, public safety people who can sacrifice pieces of their body versus Denji who has an entire forest of people to keep consuming over and over and over again, I think Denji wins the numbers game. But the only way for Denji to lose the numbers game is for Aging to boot Denji out of that realm. And very specifically, they can keep Yoru there. They can keep Yoru and Asa there. There's no need to return them. But just removing Denji messes up Denji's plan drastically, because the same thing the original perpetual motion machine and this one runs on is blood. And Denji's not going to run around randomly attacking people and draining theirs unless he goes straight to the blood bank and just starts... Delete that. But let's see. He's moving again. Liver. Ooh. Jeez, the whole thing? You couldn't take a piece? Well, then again, took all their fingernails. That's a big leap. I wonder what this is going to do to POCHITA now. Because that's huge. Like, going from fingernails to liver? You live, like, you need that bad boy. Well, let's see. I'm shocked that's the only reaction they had. Oh, also, she was, I think she was the cover of the most recent volume, I think. So she is proving to be relatively important. Let's see. Huh. I mean, ironically enough, I guess you can't mutilate much beyond what was initially done here. Like, this is still huge. But I'm shocked that the toenails of multiple people did this, but now the livers, which seems like a larger organ, didn't do nearly as much. Like, sure, the head is removed. Oh no. And the leg seems to be removed, and possibly both legs. But that's like the same thing that happened before. So I don't know how H is doing this. Like, are they, like, I wonder if they're specifically selecting the bonds that hold POCHITA together, right? Like, say by taking these pieces of the body, they're essentially choosing areas on POCHITA to age. And the main reason that it's the head and the legs that get removed, but the torso remains mostly unharmed, is because even aging needs POCHITA's stomach to be intact. So it's it's essentially isolating the torso each time. They haven't removed the arms yet, which is interesting, but still, maybe they need the arms to, like, feed into the stomach. I don't know. Let's see. But it's interesting. It's only her. It didn't seem like he threw up his liver. Let's see. Yep, another yank. Some more munching. Restoration. Ooh, interesting. It leaps out. Oh, it leaps out and grabs his head like, wait, get back here. Let's see. Ooh, okay, he's getting closer and closer. Eyes. Oh, I mean, to be fair, it's not good, but they did only pop out. Y'all may be like, pencil what? But like, hear me out. They did only pop out. They did not like fully, like, I thought they were gonna like vaporize or atomize or something like that. But then again, I guess the nails only popped off. I don't know what happened to her liver. It's not like it popped out her gut, but eyes, POCHITA restores himself. The eyes disappear. Boom, they pop out. Oh, and it keeps getting weaker. Now only the head came off. For once again, I'd say your liver scales higher than your eyes. But then again, you have your kidneys. So like, because unless I'm mistaken, once again, I am not a biologist. So any of my I know some of y'all are nurses and doctors in the comment section, so feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think both have to do with purifying yourself, right? But the reason some people need to like replace their kidneys or replace their liver, like lend a kidney, is because like it's all about body purification, like purifying your blood. But I think the liver does something specific, and then the kidneys do something specific. But they're both on like the filtration front. Your eyes do perform a unique function; they're like one of your whole senses. But you can live blind. You do need a liver, right? Like I think you do need a liver. You can live without one of your five senses, but like I think without a liver, your body dies pretty quickly, unless your kidneys can carry it. Hold on, let me see. Can you live without a liver? Can you live without a liver? Wait a second. Just because I'm attached to you? Can you live without a liver? No, it is not possible to live without a liver. I figured. Okay, so yeah. Technically the liver would scale higher, so I guess it makes sense that the eyes ultimately didn't do all too much, but just removing the head, that's kinda weak sauce. Come on now, Asian, get better. Unless the Chainsaw Man's adapting. Is Chainsaw Man Maharanga? We'll take. Ooh. What's that? I actually can't tell. Did Chainsaw Man pierce himself? Well, it looks like that's the case, because only the head came off, but then he slices himself open. No way. Oh, he tore out his own heart. Oh. Oh, interesting. Interesting maneuver here. I wonder what, that's so oddly specific. Oh, so sacrificing the base body, throwing the heart, so the next time Denji reapplies it and refeeds Pochita, the heart will be tugged on, expand, and then it'll be a full fresh Chainsaw Man being launched with the force of the previous Chainsaw Man. I'm guessing. That seems legit. Let's see. Or it just blew a hole in aging, because that's the end of the chapter. Whoa. All right. Kamlo W chapter, a nice evolution of the perpetual motion machine, a really interesting way to do it. And I'll admit, aging. I mean, I guess like ultimately you could argue maybe aging's holding back, but like I think maybe I just highballed them, because the fact that one, they need to do all this, they need to keep sacrificing pieces of human bodies in order to fuel their abilities to actually harm Chainsaw Man, kind of wacky. Number two, the fact that it just kept getting less and less effective, like at least in my opinion. The nails attack was the best one. Of course, because it took from all of them, and maybe aging's like holding back on the humans in order to make sure they always have body parts to do it. But like this one seemed the most effective. It blew apart his whole chunk, it decapitated him, it did a whole lot. Possibly even nearly dislocated one of his arms, and he full scale collapsed here. And Denji needed to initiate the perpetual motion machine, probably reignite him with a whole bunch of blood, and devouring a whole triple, presumably. Then he lunges again. She only loses the liver, and then Denji or Pochita does lose singly a leg, but once again, singly just that one leg, maybe this other one too, and their head. But then Denji once again reignites the perpetual motion machine. Pochita reattaches just fine, and notably doesn't even fall this time. Like they don't even stop fully. And whether this is Denji like moving faster than before or the damage just not being enough, either way, don't even land this time. Completely reignite and keep their motion. Eyes pop out, lose the head. Doesn't cause any problems. Pochita gets bored of the current processes, tires out their own heart, reels back and launches it before Denji can even begin the next perpetual motion machine. And based on the fact that this heart is beating, throbbing, looks like the regular Pochita, and is seemingly bursting with blood, as it approaches, because I think this cavernous hole isn't actually a hole being blown in aging. I think this is just what's happening as this heart is being launched towards aging in this building, and aging is preparing for their next attack. I think ultimately what's happening here is Pochita kept the momentum of the new heart, so when Denji consumes the next body, the original body of Chainsaw Man will fall, possibly collapse and fade away, but the heart is what the core of the regeneration is all based around. So a new Chainsaw Man will pop out, keeping the momentum of the throw of the previous one, and then launching straight into aging with the chainsaws. So overall, I don't know, aging. This looks like a massive L, like a hefty, juicy, scrumbly-umptious. This is kind of embarrassing for you aging tier L. So, row spaghetti, yo. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, please do me a favor and leave Sparrow Heart. Was that a subconscious Kingdom Hearts reference? I actually don't know. I think that is a Kingdom Hearts. That's a KH2 reference. Golly, but leave Spare a Heart in the comment section down below. And then thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that little notification bell so you not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1, get a $1 month. Things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include the live reactions wherever this series I'm to review, and free release of all my videos, and become a $25 Patreon or a $20 member. You can order whatever video you want. Also, I do have a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below. You can drop 5 beans for a short video, 20 beans for a long video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That with a Pencil, writing off.
I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Greyhound, Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Super Flame Zero, Brandon Payne, Glacier XE, and G Prosper. And then I'd like to give a big old thank you to our line art tier patrons: Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin, Encarnacion, Igneo Lind, and A+A. And I'd like to give a big ol' thank you to our Ink tier members: Fine, Austin Wimberly Euchia, and Yuki Alla. Then I'd like to give a big ol' gargantuan thank you to our digital art tier members: Jay Warrior and AZ Void. Then I'd like to give a big gargantuan thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Overlord Zero, Joaquin Munoz, and Idem Okami. And I'd like to give a final gargantuan, supersized, sweet mother of mercy, that kidney will be yours one day, or the Black Myth video, whichever comes first, possibly both. That guy with a pencil tier patron, Calvin Elder.